What's good, everybody? This is Ryan Johnson with MoneyBass.com. What is going on, guys? We are back once again. This is the midday report. As you know, we have the Bassmaster Classic going on out here in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Grand Lake. Been a lot of action going on, guys. So we're going to get straight into it. Let me just share my screen and let's, kind of rehash what we talked about a little bit earlier. Let's see. There we go, guys. So basically what we're doing, I know some of you guys may have a split screen going on where you may be watching a little bit of YouTube, watching a little bit of the Bassmaster Classic. So what we're going to do here is in the chat, as you come into the chat, just hit a 1. Just make sure you guys can hear me okay and see me okay. And also drop your favorite angler in the chat. Who are you guys rooting for? Who are you looking to win and take away that trophy for this Bassmaster Classic? So just drop your angler in the chat. And then what we will do is just go through the stats, the current standings, and see where they're at. So I have that live up here, live and in action. I have my split screen going on, about 2 or 3 screens that I'm taking a look at, guys. So we're going to have some fun with it. So drop your favorite angler in the chat and we'll take a look and see where we are at. So as you guys know, as I mentioned earlier, my guys are Kyle Welcher. And of course, we have Ben Milliken. We have Ben Milliken. He's in here doing his thing, guys. So let's just start off with that. Let's just hop right into it. And as you guys come in and start dropping your anglers in the chat, for now, I'll go ahead and start taking a look at Ben Milliken. I think he's still in here doing his thing. So he's currently in 17th place, guys. So as we go to the live leaderboard, you can see that he has a 2-pounder, a 2.8, well, a 2.8, not a 2.8, a 2.6, a 3.0, and a 2.0. So a 3-pounder is his big fish right now, sitting currently with 11 pounds, 14 ounces. Okay, all right. So, he has a respectable weight there. He's in 17th place. Looks like he's tied for 17th place, sitting 8 pounds, 2 ounces behind first place. So he has some ground to make up. All right. So the other person that I've been keeping my eye on, of course, is Kyle Welcher. Kyle Welcher, he's currently sitting in 27th place. And let's see, he's sitting at 10 pounds, 4 ounces. So he has a little work to do, guys, a little work to do. We want to make sure he stays within that top 25. So the Phoenix boat cut line is top 25 anglers fish on day 3. You have to be in the top 25 spots in order to secure a place for that 3rd day and to get that big win, guys. All right, so let's hop into the chat real quick, see what you guys are talking about in here and see who you guys are rooting for. All right, so just bear with me, guys. Let me just double check something over here. And of course, I have to make sure that the Facebook crew is good. Can't forget about my Facebook people over here. Hold on 1 second, guys. Just bear with me. This is a live show. And also, the other thing that I mentioned, I will be dropping the call-in link. And actually, as soon as I get the Facebook crew going, I will get that taken care of. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Big shout out to the Facebook crew. You guys are up and rolling. So feel free to hop into the chat. Let us know who is the angler that you are rooting for. And also, one more thing. Let me drop this banner down here, guys. I want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of the last live stream. It was James Harmon with LanierBaits.com. Make sure you guys go and check them out. So whoever gives the largest super chat, super sticker during the live streams is the sponsor of the live stream, because this channel is supported by you guys, the viewers, subscribers, and people that just tune in to see what's going on over here. All right, let's see. So we have that up and running. So let's hop into the chat and see who are the anglers that you guys are rooting for. Let's see, who do we have checking in, guys? Who do we have checking in? Shout out to DL Peck Fishing. All right, he hit me with the 1. Let me know everything is looking good, sounding good. And real quick, let me just get this leaderboard lined right back up, guys, so we can at least take a look at the top 10 as we're going through here. So Cody Huff is still sitting in that 1st place spot. All right, so Chad Adventure says, did you get a chance to view that video of Hank Parker talking forward-facing sonar? I sure did. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, we can pull it up and take a quick look at it too, guys. So, it's a live show, very interactive. Let me, actually do what I said just a second ago. Let me drop this call-in link just in case anybody wants to come up and, speak your piece about your favorite angler. Who are you rooting for? All right, so the call-in link is in the chat, guys. And basically the way that we do that on this channel, just make sure your lighting is good, and I will pull you up on the screen, let you talk for a minute or two. Just let me know about your favorite angler, or whatever topic that you want to talk about. I see some people mentioning here about the video that was posted by Hank Parker about his thoughts on forward-facing sonar. So if you want to get into that, we can get into that too, guys. All right, so we just, get in here, have some fun with it. It is a live show, so it kind of goes this way, that way, a little bit of everywhere. Just really depends on the mood of the show and how active you guys are getting in the chat. All right, so the call-in link is in the chat, guys. Let me just drop that real quick. All right, there we go. So the call-in link is live and active in the chat. And also the other thing that we do here is we drop polls throughout the show. So I'm kind of keeping my eyes on some live footage and everything, kind of like you guys are probably doing on your end. All right, so let's see. What else do we have, guys? What else do we have? Don Bark says, what's going on, Bass people? Oh, yeah. This is the Bass folks over here getting together, kind of in the afternoon before they come off of the water. I think they have, let's see how much more time do they have on the water, guys. So they have 2 hours and 23 minutes left. All right, so shout out to Don Barks. Really appreciate you tuning in. And a big shout out to the members of the Money Team. If you take a look, Don Barks does have that badge next to his name. That shows that he's a member of the Money Team, which is a member of the channel, guys. If you are interested in supporting the channel, just click the join button down below, and it will give you some information about the perks that come along with it. All right, and Don Barks says, he also says, hey, I'm here for Milliken. All right, we have DL Peck Fishing. He says Milliken. All right, so we have some Millikens, some MFers joining in on the live stream. All right, Chad's Adventure says he is dropping and placing. No complaints here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, so Chad, who is your angler? Who's your guy? Who's your favorite angler in here? We got to keep a look on it. So it sounds like you're not a Ben Milliken fan, but it's all good because we're all here to have some fun with it, guys. All right, so Don Bark says, and Hank. Okay, let's see. Hank. Oh, okay, Hank Cherry. Let me just take a look real quick. Is that who you're talking about? Because I think he was in here doing his thing a little earlier. Hold on, here we go. Yeah, he was in second place. Just look. Okay, there we go. So we have Hank. Let's see how Hank is doing. Hank is currently in fourth place. Okay, look at that. He has threes. All right. He has threes straight across the board. 15 pounds, 10 ounces. So he's looking pretty good. He's looking pretty good. He is only 4 pounds, 6 ounces behind first place. So all he has to do is just upgrade 1 or 2 of those fish, and he may be in there for that first place spot. All right, Don Bark says 1 new school, 1 old school. All right, so who is the new school and who is the old school? Drop that in the chat, Don. Let me know who you're talking about. All right, so Chad Adventure says Hank Parker was spot on. All right, so Chad is no fan of Milliken, and he says Hank Parker was spot on. So I'm taking it that Chad's Adventures isn't too fond of forward-facing sonar and the new school guys. All right, so shout out to Chad's Adventures. Shane Bridges says pulling for anybody that can get it done without forward-facing sonar. All right, hey, sounded good, sounded good. All right, so that call-in link, I did drop that in the chat. So if you want to come up and have some fun, guys, just click the link. Just make sure you're cammed up, and I can pull you up on the screen. We can, talk a little fishing, talk about some different baits, different lures. See what you think for today, how things are going. All right, then we have Lucky. What is going on? Big shout out to Lucky. Haven't seen you in a minute. Where have you been doing? You've been hiding. You've been out there catfishing. What's going on? All right, let's see. Shane Bridges says makes you wonder about when an icon like Hank Parker chimes in. All right. Hey, it sounds like people have been wondering for a minute. Didn't take Hank to say anything. Seems like people have already been kind of voicing their opinions on that pretty strong. All right. Don Bark says, hey, Money, you see CT's last clip talking about with Ben and giving you a shout out. I sure did not. I did not see that yet. CT is out there. So Cerebral Tackle, he is a subscriber and a strong supporter of the channel. Don't see him in here right now, but yes, he is actually live at the Bassmaster Classic doing interviews, all those kind of things. So he's having a good time out there. He may come back on again and give us some of the inside information because he is on the press pass side of things, guys. He's getting the inside scoop. All right, so let's see. Let's see what else we have. So Don Bark says Ben and Hank. All right, so there we go. So we took a look at Hank. All right, we have somebody backstage. Just wants to come up and kind of maybe they want to talk about some forward-facing sonar or something good. We'll have some fun with it, guys. All right, so let's see real quick. So we have Hank. He is currently sitting in fourth place. And let's drop down and take a look at Ben Millikens. He's dropped down to 17th spot. He has quadruple twos on the board. See all these 2-pounders? So he needs to get rid of some of those guys. Sitting at 12 pounds. 0 ounces, has him in 17th place. All right, so let's see, who do we have back here? I think this is going to be somebody that, has a few things to say. What is going on, sir?
Hey, what's going on, Money? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good.
Good.
How are you doing,
Hey, I
sir?
love
How
your
you
show.
doing?
Just by the way, new subscriber, fairly new, but it's been good.
All right, appreciate you.
No, I mean, I know Randy can be over the top with it, but he has a lot of valid points, and I think people really need to stop and think about it. It's going to affect fisheries, or maybe not now, tomorrow, but years from now, it's going to clean it out, because you got a lot of people out there that are just catching masses of them, and they're not releasing them back; they're eating them. So it's going to destroy the fisheries eventually. But like Hank was saying, and I have to agree with this, is that a lot of the guys that are using out, you can't deny it, they're new, because that's what they learned on. So that's
Right.
all they know. They're not versed like the older guys, and and even Gerald Swindle made a statement to that too. And when you have Gerald Swindle and Hank Parker speaking up, you better listen. That the guys that put years of experience on the water now can't. It's like that's all gone now, and now they're going to be enforced to use this. It's not good. Like Mike Iaconelli even said, it's who has the better technology now, not the better knowledge. And that's, to me, I don't like the direction it's going, because it ain't going to be a sport anymore. It's going to get so advanced. You're just going to right there, there's a fish, boom. It's like, the old saying, fish out of a barrel. That's going to
Right.
be what, I mean, it's not even going to be a sport. It's not even going to be fun. It's going to get boring. It's like, if you were bowling and you had a ball that could give you a strike every time, it would get boring after a while. It's not a sport anymore. It's just waste of time. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? That's where I see it coming from. I mean, hey, but I'm just, one of many out there, I guess. But I appreciate you having me on,
Well,
though. I
listen,
really
I appreciate you for coming up, because
do.
I
Oh, yeah.
try to get people that, feel one way or the other way, because
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting conversation, because I can kind of see a little bit from both ends of
Yeah,
the
right.
argument. Yeah.
And
So,
it's just too easy. I mean, because you didn't have this back in the day,
mhm,
You just, like and Hank was saying that, like baseball and golf has a certain compound they can add to the ball where it'll travel like 30 to 35% further. But those leagues ban it, say no, because it's going to totally ruin the sport. It's going to ruin the history of home runs. All these records will be like useless, because this is going to be so much better. And that's kind of good analogy to put to this.
right.
Those old records that were caught old school in the real tradition of fishing, the unknown. So what you got to do? I mean, we want to start putting asterisks on this name, forward-facing sonar winner. I mean,
Yeah.
because they tried to do that when Barry Bonds was taking steroids. Remember, oh, we got to put an asterisk after his name. I mean, you remember
Right.
that? And I
Yeah.
like Barry Bonds. So
And
I don't
so
know.
for me, so this past weekend, I actually fished a tournament on Lake Sinclair, and your partner Money Bass took in first place. So I got first
Congratulations.
place.
Congrats,
And
man.
I don't know how many videos or how much content you've watched of mine, but I'm an electronics guy, right?
Right.
So
I still
right.
watch it. It's fun to watch, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
So I run Humminbirds, I run Mega Live,
Okay.
but when I got out to Lake Sinclair, the water was just straight mud. That didn't
Mhm.
really affect the live imaging or the sonar and stuff as much. But the other thing on top of that is that there was a lot of pollen out there. But
Okay.
my plan for the day was not to go out there and use my electronics anyways. So it kind of played into what I was planning on doing, because what I've been telling everybody for this season, I'm looking for one fish. I'm looking for 1 7-pounder. So I kept telling everybody,
Mhm.
hey, I'm coming in with one or none. That was my plan for the day. So I
Right.
tied on a mag draft. I had on a square bill. What else did I have on there? I had an A rig, but I didn't really plan on throwing that much. But those are really the two things that I was planning on throwing, was that mag draft and that square bill. So once I get there, I spent the day shallow and ended up catching I think my biggest fish came on that square bill, which was a 4
Right.
something, and then my second
Nice.
one was a 4 something, came on a spinner bait. So I caught the majority of my fish, and my co-angler caught all of his fish on spinner bait, fishing grass in straight stained muddy water. You couldn't really see anything. So and for me, just what the reason why I brought that up is because listening to what you're saying, for me, when I went and started back fishing that way,
Mhm.
it was more relaxing in a sense. It's like
Exactly.
I could just, because when you're using electronics, but the thing is, with electronics, it does take a certain level of skill to be able to get out there and even find the locations to be able to make those casts. So it's a different skill set other than the old school
Oh, yeah,
thing.
it's technology, you gotta learn it.
Right.
Exactly,
Yeah. So it's like when
Right.
you're out there, it's like you're steady working and looking and this and that. But the going back shallow and doing that, and then to get a win off of it, it was like,
That's
man,
awesome though. You
yeah,
won though.
yeah. And the thing that I hate is normally I do a lot of footage and I record my entire tournament. This time I just went out there and just went fishing. After I got my limit, I decided to go ahead and turn the camera on. But after that point, I was still culling fish a little bit, but I started catching some smaller fish. But hey, it was all good.
That's probably why you won. You didn't worry about, my card got any minutes on it, my battery's dead, my camera not working. You had to worry about that. Just go out
That's
there and
right.
throw the
Yeah.
line in
And
the water.
the thing that I loved about it was as we were fishing, and then we kept thinking we were getting bites, right?
Right.
On the spinner bait. But eventually what I realized that it was that blade coming through there, and it was ticking the tops of the grass that we were fishing, and those fish were coming up and grabbing it, but because we couldn't see it. So I would say they were anywhere from like 2 to 6 feet of water, the fish that we were catching, but you could just feel the blades just tapping on the grass. And I was like, man, just just having that plan and then it coming together. And so now, I'm fishing Kyle Welcher style. I'm moving. I have my trolling motor set on about 7 or 8, and as soon as I feel that spinner bait tick 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 something, then hey, I slow it down to about 4, and and kind of start fishing areas a little bit smaller. So coming in with a strategy like that, I mean, it felt good. But with the forward facing sonar thing, so let me ask you this: what for you do you feel whenever you're watching the classics and things like this, and people think about the traditional style of fishing? What is the bare bones of that? Like when you're looking at 2 people go out on the lake and they're competing against each other, what do you think is the true test that shows their skills?
I mean, you got to go back to it. It took more skill. Yeah, there's always going to be luck to fishing, but if you got these sonars that basically spotlights, it lights them up to me, it's almost, which is illegal in every single state in the country. Like when you go spotlighting deer, you could spotlight deer, but you cannot have a gun even in your vehicle. You have a gun in your vehicle, you're toast, whether you plan on poaching or not, because it's so easy. Because the deer gets stupid and just stop and look, and look at the light, and you can sit there, you could pluck about 10 of them off because they just get dumb when it comes to light. So that's really kind of the same way. So to me, again, that's not really. I know that you can't force them to bite and all that. I understand that part, and they don't always bite, but it's that much of advantage, and it's. I personally like to see, I like to see the old school way. It's more fun, to see a frog going over around pads, or, buzz bait, or a I mean, I'm old school. I'm 50 some years old. I mean, talk about Zara spooks, none of this chopper whopper ploppers, what are they called? I don't.
Look, you don't even like the whopper plopper.
No, I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but I mean, that's so new to me because
that's better than the little minnow, huh?
Yeah, I'm used to Zara spooks, and and the little wit rebel pop bars, which still are great baits, by the way. But that's more fun to watch than this. You just get a guy just doing this. That's it's just, and it's hard on the fish because you're bringing these fish up from, like when you go to the bigger lakes, like you're talking about 40, 50 feet up or even deeper. That's hard. You can put air in the bladder and all you want, but it's hard on those fish. And then you got to throw them in a live well, and they got to bounce around that lake. I just think that I don't know. I think eventually it's gonna ruin it. But I mean, I'm just a kayak angler from Indiana. I'm a nobody. But I love fishing.
Listen, we're all the same in this game. We're all fishermen when it comes down to it. So regardless of whether you're out there once a month or, 3 times a week, it's like we're all here to enjoy the same thing. So to me, these conversations are just great because you get different perspectives and everything on things.
My electronics this is all I have on, because I just got a little 10-foot native kayak. This is all I use. You're probably going to laugh. Everybody will laugh at me on your live feed. I use a Humminbird Piranha Max 4. It's just down sonar. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Down imaging. That's all I have.
Gotcha.
It tells me the water temp, if anything's on the bottom, and the depth. That's all I need to know.
All right, so let me ask you this. So when it comes to the traditional style of fishing and basically using that angler skill that everybody wants to see at the elite level and on the pro level, whenever you start introducing side scan, sonar, what's the other one? Side scan, down scan, 360, right? All of this stuff into it. Do you feel that each one of those pieces of technology takes away some skill set from that angler? And you can even throw live imaging. If you put all of those in a bucket, do you think that each one of those are basically adding something to that angler's arsenal that takes away from their original skill set that they would have to have without it?
I don't say it would take away, but it's another tool. It adds to
Mhm.
it because because years experience, you may say, okay, I know bass at this time of year, they're going to move up to this point, and you may know that that this point's here. With the sonar, you can find that point, so that helps you know where the bass are going to be there. But
Mhm.
anything other than the live sonar, everything you see on your graph is kind of like, if you want to say history. It's in the past, it's behind you already, or it's not live. So you're
Mhm.
not really seeing, you're not really spotlighting because it's already happened. You know what I mean? You've been
Right,
around, you
right.
know how it works.
Yeah.
So I think it's a skill as a tool because it might help you locate that point. Like if the lake is flooded, or if you've never been to a lake and you know that bass relate to these structures this time of year, it may help you find those. But I don't think that's a bad thing.
Gotcha. All
Because
right. So
especially when you're fishing for money. I mean, that's not a bad thing. But this, when you've got Ike and Swindle and Parker, and not everybody bashes on Randy, but you can't bash on these other guys because these guys have probably forgotten more about bass fishing than most of us in this YouTube
yeah,
live channel
we look, I mean,
will know.
Randy knows a
You know,
little
yeah,
something too.
Randy's.
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
just that,
he's.
he's
I think he's great. But everybody bashes on him, but I mean, he's
right.
got some valid points.
Right.
You know,
So listen,
so
so this is the question. So
yeah,
if somebody wins using forward facing sonar and someone is not using forward facing sonar, obviously you would say you have more respect for the win without forward facing sonar, right?
absolutely,
All right. So
absolutely.
now this same person that won without any of that, but now this person over here does not have forward facing sonar, but they have regular sonar and down scan, and this person without that beats them. Which person has the more respectful win in your opinion?
If you don't have any electronics,
Right.
probably the guy that
Let's say this
Probably
is
the guy
John
that don't
Cox.
have it. It's like a guy.
Right.
It's
So
like a guy fish a tournament on the bank beats a guy that has a boat. I mean, look at it that way.
all
You know
right.
what I
So
mean?
so look, so now we're over here. This is John Cox over here. John Cox, he's doing his
Right.
thing.
Yeah, he
He
likes it.
beats this guy over here. He beat the guy with the forward facing sonar. So obviously we throw him out because now John Cox has beat him. Now
Right.
we take away forward facing sonar. Next, we're down to down scan and sonar. John Cox beats him too. So John Cox has let's say this guy wins with forward facing sonar on the same lake, and John Cox won the same lake without it. The more respectable win from what you're saying would go to John Cox, right?
I think so.
All
Because
right.
it's
And so now let's take away that and add this side scan over here. John Cox doesn't have it, but this guy had to use side scan to get his win. Which has the more respectable win, John Cox or the side scan guy?
there's the side scan fishing old school ways too.
But he's doing
Oh,
whatever he did, he's using side scan, whether he's offshore finding ledges and all that
I
kind
gotta
of stuff.
say, yeah, because he's winning with the bare minimum. It's think about it this way. It's like a one-legged man winning a race with a two-legged man. I mean, that's kind of drastic, but you see
Right.
my
I got
point?
you. I
Because
got you.
he's got more tools in the bag. It's like, who are you gonna have respect for? A guy could build a house with nothing but a screwdriver and a hammer, or a guy that's got or a whole chest full of tools?
Right.
You
So
gotta look at it like that,
yeah, and so basically what we're getting at is that the less electronics, the less extra
Mm,
tools that someone has, that
I think
person
it's
that wins without that has the more respectable
yeah,
win
because you can compare
from
that
that
about
point of view.
anything, not
Right,
just fishing. Compare that to anything.
right. Gotcha.
You really could. That's how I look at it. I'm not saying these people that use sonar there, all the time, they're not good fishermen, or they wouldn't be where they're at. I mean, I'm not
Right.
saying that at all. However, even like Todd Castledine saying that we had paid money to see a tournament happen where there's no forward facing sonar, and we'll see how good some of these people that's all they grew up on, how they compare to these old timers. I think they'll get smoked. They would get
So you're
smoked.
gonna watch
They would get
the Lake
smoked.
Lanier Touring Anglers Association tournament, right? That $300,000 tournament
Oh, I
taking
would
place
I
in Lake.
wouldn't mind seeing it. When's that supposed to happen?
I think it's April. Goodness,
But you
it's
won't see none of those young high school, college kids in there. They won't be in it. I guarantee you, they won't be in that.
I don't know. I don't
They won't.
know.
You won't see those new elite rookies. They won't be in it because they can't use it.
We'll see. We'll see. Because I mean, they said that
It
there's some people
becomes a
signing up
crutch,
for.
is what I'm trying to say. I think it
Right.
becomes a
Yeah,
crutch.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, it may not be appealing to them. I mean, because some people, that may
Right.
be their style of fishing, so it may be fun for them. Just like some people, if it's a tournament on Okeechobee and they don't like punching, maybe they're decent at. Well, I wouldn't even say decent. Maybe that's just not their thing. It doesn't mean that they don't have skills in other things. They wouldn't.
Exactly.
They wouldn't show up for that. So it kind of goes along with that.
Hmm.
So one more question before I
Hmm.
drop you down. Who
All right.
is your angler for the Bassmaster Classic? Who are you rooting
I
for?
don't have a favorite. I would like to see either, like I think I mentioned on your first cast. I wouldn't mind seeing Luke Palmer do real well. I like
Okay.
Tyler Yvette and I like Brandon Palaniuk. That's another one I wouldn't mind seeing. Either one of those three, I'd be very happy with winning it.
Okay, so Luke Palmer, he's sitting in 10th place, 13
Yeah.
pounds, 12 ounces. And who was the other one that you said?
Tyler Rivette and Brandon Polinack. I think I say his
Okay,
name
yeah,
right.
I
Yeah.
think Brandon Polinick is doing all right too.
Yeah,
Let's see where he's at.
I always like to see him do well too. So either one of those three, I'd be happy. I mean, I'm not gonna be upset no matter who wins, but I just
Right.
those three, if I had to choose out of that lineup, would be
Gotcha.
my choices.
Okay, yeah, so we're just in here having some fun with it, but I definitely appreciate you coming up because it's
Hey,
not too often that we get somebody. I mean, they'll stay in the chat and say, I don't like the forward facing sonar thing.
right.
I want the old school.
Well,
And
I'm
I'm
probably
like,
a pretty unpopular now. You're not gonna ban me, are you?
no, I mean, because that's
Okay.
not really what it's about. Whether,
Everybody has their opinion. People shouldn't get
yeah,
so upset about it, but people do, unfortunately, and they
right.
take it personally, and it's not that. It's not that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so
I
yeah, make sure you stay active in the chat. I really
sure
appreciate
will. I
you coming
appreciate you
over
having
and
me
checking
on, Money.
things out.
Congrats again on the tournament win.
All right, appreciate you. All
Yep.
right, everybody. We had Chad coming up, stating his thoughts and opinions on a few things, guys. So really, really appreciate that. And the call-in link, I'll put that back in the chat just in case anybody wants to come up, shout out their favorite angler. Let us know who you're rooting for out here, guys. So once again, it's all in fun. We're in here having some fun, exchanging some thoughts and ideas. I mean, nobody's ever really right or wrong, or maybe they are. If they don't agree with me, then you're wrong. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, we're just having a good time in here, guys. Let's hop back into the chat real quick. And also, let me pull this back up here because that is what a lot of you guys are tuning in for, to see where we are at with the Bassmaster Classic that is taking place on Grand Lake in Tulsa, Oklahoma, guys. All right, so let's just get everything cleared out and let's just take a look and see how the standings are currently looking. So in first place, we have Cody Huff sitting on a cool 20 pounds even. All right, so down from there, we have Justin, we have Jay, we have Lee. I'm just going through here to see some of the names that you guys have been mentioning that you're rooting for. So there we go. We got Hank Cherry sitting in 6th place. I remember he came out here and did his thing on Lake Lanier with that red crankbait. So yeah, he definitely can do a little something. 15 pounds, 10 ounces with 5 3-pounders on the scales. All right, so he's looking good. He's looking decent. All right, I think somebody did mention Kyle Patrick, one of the young guns stepping in. All right, look at him. He has 3 straight across the board too. Look at that. 4 3-pounders. I think those might be a little off. What do you guys think? Maybe he's not adding on the ounces on there, but he's sitting on 15 pounds, 7 ounces. So probably has a little bit more weight than that. Who knows? All right, let's see, guys. What else? What else are we looking for? What else are we looking for? Let's just check on Milliken again. Uh-oh, guys. Milliken is kind of slowing down on us, but his last catch was at 106, currently sitting in 21st place. Got to stay in that 20, 25 or better. But the thing is, for this tournament, guys, I don't think anybody's really fishing for second place at the Bassmaster Classic. You're out here to go all in. I mean, and actually, in saying that, let's just go all the way down here to, I think we have about 56 anglers. So we have Josh, we have Jacob, and we have Paul. They do not have anything on the scales yet. So that could possibly mean that they're in an area where it's not updating for them. But my point in coming down here to the end, in the Bassmaster Classic, you're fishing for first place. I'm not sure what the payouts are. Maybe I can look around and see if I know that. But anybody in the chat, if you know what the payouts are for, say, the top 5, drop that in the chat. But what I'm saying is, for this weekend, for example, when I went out, I was basically going for the mega bass or nothing. I told everybody that I was either going to come in with 1 fish or none. But using that strategy, I ended up coming in with a winning bag, even though that wasn't necessarily my goal. So with this Bassmaster Classic, it would be kind of the same thing. I'm going to be out here swinging for the fences, as some would say, because I want that first place. I don't want the second, the third, any of that. I'm going for first. So I'm going all in on it. So some of these guys down here that you see in 53rd, 49th, 40th, they may be out there swinging for the fences, guys. They may be going for that top spot and looking for the biggest fish that they can catch so that they can get that weight that they need. And for some people, it's going to work out. Some people, it's not going to work out for them. So, hey, Cody Huff, let's just take a look at first place. He is sitting on 4 4-pounders and a 3/8. It's his smallest fish. So he's looking to call a 3-pound, 8-ounce fish, which for this lake, looking at the weights that are coming in, is still a decent fish. So Cody Huff could have been one of those same people that's like, hey, I'm here for the win. I'm not here to get a limit. I'm not here to kind of stay up there and stay competitive. No, I'm in it for the win. So let's just hop back into the chat real quick, guys. Let me pull this back up as we go through the chat so you guys can still keep a look on anything that is moving. And for anybody that is just tuning in, make sure you guys hit the like button, guys. Let me just check my likes. Do you guys like me? Do you like MoneyBass? Are you hitting the like button? Oh my God. What is going on with my likes, guys? What are you doing to me? Why you treat me so bad? All right, so can I get maybe 4 or 5 more likes, guys? Just just tap the like button. If you know how to set the hook on the like button, guys. Just help me out a little bit. It really does help the channel out. Just kind of pushes it out there so we can get more guys in here participating, which always makes for a better a better live stream for all of us. All right, so back to the chat, like I was saying, guys. While you guys are setting the hook on that like button, we'll go ahead and hop back into the chat. Oh my goodness, what is this guy doing at the Bassmaster Classic? Hold on a second, guys. I have to see what is going on here. All right, so if you're in the chat, who in the chat is watching YouTube and watching the Bassmaster live on a split screen? If you are, put split screen in the chat. All right, guys, listen, I'm not really talking too much right now because I'm looking at something on the live. Wow. Looks like somebody won a boat. Now I missed that event. I missed that event that allowed somebody to move to win a boat. All right, so let's hop back into the chat real quick, guys. I had to take a break. I'm kind of multitasking. I'm over here. I'm over there. I'm right here. I'm in the chat. I'm a little bit of everywhere. All right, so let's see. What are you guys talking about in the chat? And real quick, the call in link is in the chat. Call in link. All right, so if you want to call in, talk about your favorite angler, you can do that as well. All right, so let's see. Where were we at, guys? All right, so we have some Ben Milliken fans. Shout out to Chad's Adventures. All right, let's see. Shane Bridges says pulling for anybody that can get it done without forward-facing sonar. All right, so yeah, that's an interesting topic, guys. And so I may in a minute pull up some of the footage from what everybody's referring to with Hank Parker, kind of hopping in here and stating his piece in a forward-facing sonar debate. All right, let's see what else we have real quick. All right, so Don Barks, he had said, hey, Money, you see CT's last clip with Ben and giving you a shout out. Yeah, so I heard about Milliken, giving MoneyBass a shout out again. So for anybody who doesn't know, Milliken was on the show just a few months ago, and we kind of talked about his progression from YouTube to the tournament scene, and then onto the elite. So we had a real good conversation. If you guys did not see that, you definitely want to go back and watch that interview because there was some information, kind of a different side of him that you may not see on a regular basis on some of the other things that you've been seeing on YouTube and on TV or whatever channel that you watch. All right, Don Bark says Ben and Hank. All right, so I got to that. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. Lucky says, I'm living the dream, waiting for, what is that, Minnesota weather to get some act right. All right. So you want to be living the dream. All right. Let's see. Don Bark says they'll evolve. They'll evolve. All right. If they hold on the bottom, you can't see them unless they pull up. So I would say that's true to an extent. But all it takes is one of those fish to just move just a little bit. And they can, especially when you're ditch fishing, they can give away that school. All they have to do is move just a little bit. Let's see. Don Barks also says too many places to hide and get into. That's never going to happen. Fish will learn just as they always have. Oh yeah. I think eventually they'll, like you said, they'll kind of change up and get used to the technology, and things will change once again because as we see, well, as I can see, things have changed for catching fish on sonar for me whenever I go to some of these lakes, especially Lanier. Those fish will laugh at me now when I try to pull over them, catch them using sonar. All right, so Shane Bridges says Lake Sinclair, what state? That was down in Milledgeville, Georgia. And for anybody on the money team, the members of the channel, those are the people that you see that have the badges right next to their name. Not really going to take the time to, turn this weekend's video in this weekend's tournament into video footage. So what I'll probably do is just do a members only live. So if anybody wants to kind of see that, see a recap and just some good footage. And for the forward facing sonar guys, I'll have some information about fishing in the muddy and stained water and with some pollen mixed into the mix. So if you guys know about the pollen season, it's coming. And, I have a few tips for you guys there. All right. So Ernest Coleman says, MoneyBass, can you explain to me? I heard about pro anglers burnout due to traveling, practice days, and tournament days being 3 to 4 days long. With forward facing sonar being used, why not 2 days with heaviest bag wind? So you're saying just change the format so that they don't get burnout. And really, if you think about it, that's just about with anything. I mean, believe it or not, YouTubers get burnt out too. You'll see some YouTubers doing great, and then all of a sudden they'll be gone for like a month or 2 months or something like that, because the pressure of constantly have to put out content, and you with the algorithm and things with YouTube, for example, it's kind of making you work to earn that spot to where you can get viewers to even come and watch you. But on the pro angler side of things, I have not fished at the pro level, but I did at one point. I was fishing at least 2 tournaments a month, traveling, staying in hotels, camping. I don't think I ever slept in my in my truck, but I did camp out a lot. And the camping thing became kind of fun. But you do, like you said, you're away from your family, the expenses, all of that kind of stuff. So you can kind of get burnt out on it, depending on how you're handling the situation. And if you're actually taking care of your health, there's a lot of different things that go into it. A lot of people will get out on the tournament day and they don't eat anything, don't drink anything all day. They're just focused on fishing. And at the end of the day, when those cramps start hitting you, or you go to the doctor and they're like, hey, what have you been doing to yourself? Then things will kind of change up. But yeah, I mean, there are some trails where they are kind of changing those things. And that Touring Anglers Association that I was telling you guys about, that $300,000 tournament that will be taking place, I believe it's on April 7th. It's April 7th, a Saturday. Let me just or was it through the week? I can't remember. But if you guys just look up Touring Anglers Association online, you'll see. But that is kind of one of the things behind that. I think they only allow one practice day where it's pretty much just a drive around for a few hours or something like that, and then the next day is the tournament. It's that simple. And that is part of the reasoning behind that, because with less practice days allowed, then there's less expenses. I mean, less in hotel, less in gas, less in time away from your family, all of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of one of the things that they were putting together for that. All right, so let's see. Lucky says, bright side of forward facing sonar is soon Loch Ness Monster will either be found or debunked. Hey, I think the Loch Ness Monster, it can feel the pinging from the forward facing sonar, so it goes and hides behind a brush pile or something like that. All right, Don Bark says, psst, I used to use live scope topwater fishing as well. Oh yeah, you got to use it on topwater. I mean, nothing's I was gonna say nothing's more fun, but it is definitely fun to watch that bait on forward facing sonar sliding across the top of the water and see those fish come up and nail it. If you guys want to see some of that footage, I do have some of that footage on my channel too. All right, Don Bark says you can also see top water. It's all in angle. That is correct. Just have to get that beam set up right, and you can watch your baits go straight across the top of the water. All right, and he also says, am I the only person learning that? No, sir. No, sir, you're not, because I talk about that a lot on my channel. I actually have footage and showed people how to set up their transducer and the angle using Mega Live in order to track your bait across the water and catch fish on top water. All right, so let's see. We have, what is this? Visky, am I saying that right? Johnson, he says, nah, I don't buy that. What are you talking about? What's going on? What are you talking about that you don't buy that? I'm pretty sure it has something to do with forward facing sonar. All right, but shout out to you. All right, that is a person from the Facebook side of things. Really appreciate you tuning in. I got your message a little earlier today, man. I'm rolling. I'm always into something. All right, so let's see, guys. let me hop back over here on this leaderboard real quick and just see, are you guys dropping your favorite anglers in the chat? And that way, like I said, we can pull them up and, so we just won't be looking at the people I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Kyle Welcher and Ben Milliken. I like the Millikens. I like Ben Milliken. He's out here doing his thing. And of course, Kyle Welcher. All right, let's see. Dodie Fisher says, I believe we are going to see how Milliken reacts to an old-fashioned butt kicking. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Come on, Dodie Fisher. Tell me what you mean. What do you mean? What are you saying? Let's see. Let's just take a look and see where Milliken is at right now. So Milliken, I mean, he dropped down a little bit. He was up in what, 12th or 13th? No, wait a second. Actually, I think he was in second place at one point. But now things have kind of slowed down for him. He's his last catch is showing it was 106, and his current weight, 2 pound, 2.2 pound, 8 ounces, 2 pounds, 6 ounces. He has a 3-pounder and a 2 pound, 2 ouncer on the scales, sitting at 12 pounds even. So he is currently 8 pounds even behind first place. These weights are pretty close, guys. So any of these guys in here can get a nice fish. And speaking of that, let's just take a look at the Mercury Big Bass. For the Mercury Big Bass, we're currently sitting at 5 pounds, 13 ounces. So if you have those caliber of fish around, that can change things pretty quick. All right, so let's hop back into the chat and keep rolling. Ernest Coleman says, let's see, I have seen kids use forward-facing sonar on their parents' boats. It's not difficult. It's not difficult at all. Anybody can do it. Man, it's so easy. What's going on with these guys that have it on their boat and they're sitting out here with 14 pounds, 12 pounds? Man, look at this. Everybody has a kind of a decent weight going on. But why does he only have 5 pounds? Why does he only have 6 pounds? What's going on? These guys have it, don't they? It's so easy. It's not difficult. Or is it, Ernest? Do you have forward-facing sonar? All right, so we have Clint Perry checking in. All right, he's checking off Dodie. I guess he's agreeing on something. All right, so we have Visky Johnson. Am I saying that right? Kind of put it in the chat if I'm not saying it right. But let's just say V. V Johnson says, folks in sports have training that are far and away above previous generations. Their wins, records, etc., are still respected. All right, sounds good. All right, then we have Roy says, smash the like button, guys. How are my likes looking? Appreciate that, Roy. How are my likes looking? We're in here having some fun with it, guys. We're watching the Bassmaster Classic on a split screen. I'm dropping the call-in link. Let me drop the call-in link again. So if you want to come up here and participate, you can hit this call-in link and come into the chat. And we can chop it up a little bit, have some fun with it. You saw we had Chad's Adventures come up here just a minute ago. All right, let's see. What else do we have? So Joshua Lee says, sorry, I promise I won't goose egg. All right. All right. So Dodie Fisher says first is $300,000. Oh, my goodness. $300,000 for the Bassmaster Classic. What is second place? Second place, like $3,000 or something. What is second place? Would you fish for second place in the Bassmaster Classic? I'd still go for the first. I still want the trophy, man. But the $300,000, I'd kind of want that too. I'd want that too. All right. Let's see. So how are my likes looking, guys? Let's take a look and see. What are you doing to me in here with the likes? They're inching up a little bit. They're still a little slim. I mean, they need something to eat. I mean, the ribs are showing a little bit. Can you guys set the hook on the like button for me? Just tap the like button for me real quick, guys. Really appreciate that. All right, so let's see what else you guys are talking about in here. Joshua Lee says, I'll even like your stream on my phone account. All right, appreciate it. All right, we have Dodie Fishing watching on a split screen. Hey, that's the best way to watch it. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm here. I'm in the chat. I'm on the live. I'm on the live Bassmaster Classic, watching that too. I see they're talking about Zona's talking about Cody Huff right now. So he's out here doing his thing. All right, so let's see. We have the Michigan Outdoorsman. He says, I used to be critical of the whole forward-facing sonar. Now I'm all in. He's all in. The tech ain't going nowhere, and it's gonna be either fall in love or be left behind. The Michigan Outdoorsman says, hey, man, I don't want to be left behind. I want to stay on the train. I want to keep up with everybody. All right, then we have Bear Bassin watching while driving a semi. Wait a minute. Hold on, man. Wait a minute. Semis, those things aren't no joke, man. Those things have some big tires. They have a big old trailer behind it. Have a couple of tons in there. Can't be playing like that on the interstate. All right, let's see. Don Bark says, I'm proficient. All right, he is proficient. Oh my goodness. He says proficiently not catching. All right, guys. So that call-in link is in the chat. If anybody wants to take a look, click the link. I can pull you up. Just make sure you're cammed up. I'll pull you up. You can voice your opinion about your favorite angler, or if you want to talk about forward-facing sonar or what baits these guys are using. What kind of baits have you guys seen the anglers using? I've been seeing them catch them on jigs for the let's see what else, jigs. I can't remember. Somebody else caught something on another bait. Oh, jerk bait. That was it. So I saw a lot of guys catching fish on jerk baits earlier, whenever they were first getting started, guys. All right. So somebody had mentioned Tyler Rivette. So there he goes. He is sitting in 44th place. All right. He has quadruple ones sitting on the board. He has a 1-8, a 1-6, a 1-6, and a 1-3. So he needs to get rid of all of those. He has a 2-8 as his top fish, guys. So hey, that really should be his smallest one. So let's see. So Tyler, he's out there, he's putting in some work, but he has a little catching up to do. Currently sitting in 44th place. So if that is your man, just make sure you keep on rooting for him. He's just having a tough time right now, but things may change for him. All right, Don Bark says, I have a hard time pronouncing that. Kiyoya was using a spinnerbait. Okay, hey, that's what I used to take my win this weekend. And actually, after doing that, I mean, it felt good. Got to put that stinger hook on there. I let a nice one come off. And let me tell you guys this. I had one on the spinnerbait. And, I tell the detailed story whenever I do the live stream where I talk about the details of the win. But basically, I put on a spinnerbait, didn't put a stinger hook on there, had a nice fish on there that was 3.36 pounds, and it came off. Had a 3.36 pounder on there, and it came off, guys. And I kept trying to catch it, and couldn't get it. So does anybody want to know how I know that fish was 3.36 pounds? How could I know how much a fish weighed if I did not catch it? Does anybody have the answer to that question? I'm watching the chat. I want to see if anybody knows, how do I know that the fish that I lost weighed 3.36 pounds? How could I possibly know that? I want to see who has the answer to the question. I want to see at least 3 guys drop their thought on that topic. How, if I had a fish on a spinnerbait, did not put a stinger hook on there, I get the fish, it's coming towards the boat, and I'm like, hey, this is a done deal. Single hook, I got him. Comes out the water and spits my bait right at me. But it was 3.36 pounds. How did I know? And I did not. Okay, so let's see. Brett says, because you caught it the next cast. No, I cast it and I kept casting. Couldn't catch it. I mean, do you think my rod, sometimes I have a built-in scale. So when I set the hook, depending on how much tension is on the line, maybe it lets me know how much poundage that I have from the torque of the hook set. Maybe that's how I knew. Nobody has any guesses. Let's see. Don Barks. He says someone else did. Okay. I guess I'll have to give it to Don Barks. Nobody else wants to take a guess. So the reason why I know how much the fish weighed is because I had a co-angler. And as soon as I stopped casting over there and was like, well, I can't get him, my co-angler gives it a try and wham, catches the fish, 3.36 pounds. And my smallest fish for that tournament was a 174. So I had 14 something pounds. I had a 174. So, it definitely would have helped me out a little bit. But yeah, so that's how I know. My co-angler caught it. Should he have caught my fish? No, I'm just joking. But yeah, so good deal with that. All right, so shout out to Don Barks. He got it. All right, so let's hop back over here and take another look at this leaderboard, guys. Let's see where we're at. So I'm looking. You guys aren't putting your favorite anglers in the chat anymore. So I guess we'll just keep looking at mine for the moment until somebody drops. Who are you rooting for to win the Bassmaster Classic, guys? Who are you rooting for? And I know another thing we can add in here. Let's see. I need a good poll question, guys. So if you have a poll question, something that you want to kind of gauge the room, drop it in the chat and I can add a poll question in here. I like to keep these very interactive and just have some fun with it, guys. So that's pretty much the name of the game here. So let's see. I dropped the call-in link. Looks like nobody else is wanting to come up. These guys have, let's see how much longer they have to stay on the lake. They currently have 1 hour and 39 minutes left on the lake. All right, looks like somebody's catching a fish over there. All right, we got the Millikins holding up a trophy. All right, there we go. All right, so let's see what else we have. The Michigan Outdoorsman says it would be super cool to have the opportunity to be a co-angler in a tournament. Hey, all you got to do is sign up. Let's see. It would be super cool. And actually, mentioning that, guys, let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something. And tell me what you think about this. This is going to be some great info. So you definitely want to see this. Let me drop this down real quick. This is a live show, so just bear with me. What I'm doing is sharing my screen because there is some vital information that I want you guys to check out and get your feedback on it. Who would fish a tournament? And basically what I did, guys, is I went to the Rod Bender's Bass Club. Let me just pull this up real quick. I went to the rodbendersbassclub.com. They have a tournament coming up in April next month. It is an open tournament. Guess what first place is, guys? Bam! $10,000. $10,000. Not $1 million, but $10,000. I mean, it's a nice payday. Nice payday out there on the lake. So it's the 15th annual homecoming tournament. First place, $10,000 with a minimum of 150 boats. So we're expecting around 150 boats to be there, guys. I will be there. And I'll probably be competing too. So the Michigan Outdoorsman says it would be super cool to have the opportunity to be a co-angler in a tournament. So all you have to do is sign up. That's all you need, partner. Just sign up. And you can be out there fishing for $10,000. All right, so let's just scroll down here, just get a little bit more information. So it will be taking place on Lake West Point. If you are familiar with Lake West Point, in the chat, put West Point in the chat. Just let me know if you are familiar with Lake West Point, guys. All right, so that's the 15th annual homecoming tournament. First place, $10,000. Or, you know, if we don't quite hit the 150, then it'll be somewhere around that 7,000 range. But this is going to be a very big event. They're actually closing down all other tournaments on the lake for this event, guys. So it's going to be something that you definitely want to attend. All right, so it's open to all. Bring your own partner. Saturday, April 27th, 2024. Entry fee is $250 per boat, and that includes the big fish payout. Pre-registration is available online. So if you go to rodbendersbassclub.com and just click the link for the homecoming tournament, and you will see the information there. All right. And let me see. We are back. It will be taking place on Pine Road Park in LaGrange, Georgia, Lake West Point. I believe MLF was just there maybe a week or two ago. So, yeah, it's a real nice lake, guys. My biggest fish that I've caught out of there was a 7-11. Oh, yeah. Your partner caught a 7-11. Didn't get a check with it, though. I still was a little short of a check because I didn't have any other 7-Elevens to go with it. But it's a nice fishery, guys. So there you go. So you can come and register online. Just fill out the information. You can fill it out online, hit that register button, and go ahead and secure your blast off number. And these are some guys right here that looks like they have won a check on one of the previous ones. All right, looks like they got a $7,000 check on that one. Must be nice. Must be nice for a day of fishing out there to walk away with $7,000. But hey, looks like it may be 10 this year, guys. So yeah, there we go. rodbendersbassclub.com. And let me just check the chat. Has anybody fished Lake West Point? And would you be interested in fishing for $10,000? There won't even be any pros there, guys. It'd be just regular Joes, not the pros like us out there doing our thing. All right, so let me drop this back down and let's hop back into the stats real quick. All right, let me share the screen. Where are my stats? There are my stats, guys. All right, so here we go, guys. What else are you talking about in the chat? Let me see. Brett says Huff just caught a 4-pounder. Oh my God. That means there we go. New catch. So anytime they catch a new catch under activity, anytime they catch a fish, it will show up right here under new catch. And you see he has that 4-pounder. So now let's take a look at that. Okay, he's still sitting on. I thought he already had 4-pounders. Yeah, he did. He already had 4-pounders. Maybe they didn't update it yet. So maybe this has not updated. 1150. Yeah, so I don't think it is updated. So he is about to replace that and get another 8 ounces added onto his weight. So yeah, so Cody Huff is definitely out there doing his thing. He has 4s all across the board. So definitely a nice bag. He's looking good, guys. Looking good. All right, let's see. Don Bark says, didn't Drew Gill just win on West Point? You know, I'm not sure who actually won that tournament that was out there, but I remember there was a big tournament that just took place. Seems like it was a Tackle Warehouse Invitational or something like that. All right, and the Michigan Outdoorsman says, I used to live in Southeast Bama, born and raised. My parents used to have a place on Eufaula. I think West Point was north of there. So yes, West Point is very close to Lake Eufaula. Lake Eufaula. Let me see. I had a decent tournament there. Actually, I won my biggest fish on Lake Eufaula. Was it a 7? Yeah, it was a 757. Actually, that won $800 big bass pot, mega bass pot. Oh yeah, so Lake Eufaula. I had some fun out there. I had a real good weekend. I went out there one time and caught 15 something pounds on a Friday. The next day on Saturday, I caught 17.74. And then on the final third day, I had 12 something. So it slowed down a little, but it was still enough to take the win. Oh yeah, still enough, still a good day. All right, guys, let's see. Where are we at? Where are we at with everything? All right, guys. So I just wanted to drop in real quick just to kind of, touch bases with you, see how everybody was doing. We've been running for just a little under an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. But hey, I will be back. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. That is when we do our regular live streams. I've had guests come on the show. We've had Bass Geek. We've had Mikey Balls was just on here last week. For guys that don't know who that is, he is a YouTuber out here making a mark on YouTube. Mikey Balls, Balzz. He was just on here last week. We've had Ben Milliken slide through, and also Randy Blockett. We've had a few other ones, but yeah. So shout out to the special guests that come through. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and head out, but make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button on the way out if you did not already hit it on the way in. All right, guys, keep rooting for your favorite angler. Don't give up on them just because they're sitting on 5 pounds. You never know. Things may change for them. All right, guys, so we are heading out, and I will